Hello everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode on my channel Boho BookClub. Today I'll be talking about the book, Blink, The Power of Thinking Without Thinking, written by Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Timothy Gladwell is a Canadian journalist, author, and public speaker. He has been a staff writer for The New Yorker since 1996. He has published 7 books. He is also the host of the podcast Revisionist History and co-founder of the podcast company Pushkin Industries. In Blink, the author delves into the phenomenon of rapid decision-making, exploring how our minds make choices seemingly in an instant, though the process is more intricate than it appears. Through various examples, such as a psychologist predicting the longevity of a marriage after observing a couple briefly, or a tennis coach anticipating a double fault before the ball is struck, the book highlights the concept of thin slicing, the ability to discern crucial factors from a multitude of information quickly. It suggests that effective decision-makers excel not in processing vast amounts of data but in honing the skill of distilling essential insights from complex situations. Before moving ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Part 1. Learn to trust your intuitive judgments. The human brain utilizes 2 distinct strategies to make decisions in various scenarios. One approach involves consciously gathering and processing information, evaluating the pros and cons, and arriving at a logical conclusion regarding the best course of action. However, this method of information processing is often slow, and in certain circumstances, time constraints prevent its effective application. Consequently, throughout human evolution, a second, much swifter strategy has emerged. The unconscious mind swiftly generates snap judgments based on instinctual feelings rather than extensive analysis. This rapid decision-making strategy allows the brain to alleviate some of the burdens of its intricate thought processes by delegating tasks to the unconscious. Unbeknownst to us, beneath the surface, the unconscious mind swiftly assesses situations and determines the optimal course of action. Many individuals tend to place greater trust in their conscious judgments and feel apprehensive about decisions influenced by intuition or gut feelings. However, research indicates that snap decisions often outperform those reached through thorough analysis. For instance, tennis experts possess the uncanny ability to predict when a player will serve a fault based on intuition, despite being unable to articulate the exact reasoning behind their judgment. Similarly, art experts can immediately identify forged artwork based on a gut feeling, offering a rational explanation for their snap decision later. In numerous scenarios, the unconscious mind recognizes patterns and regularities more swiftly than the conscious, logical mind. Therefore, it is crucial to trust our snap decisions in these moments. Part 2. Our unconscious can sift through information instantaneously. While thoroughness is often valued, it's not always practical or beneficial to meticulously analyze every piece of available information when making decisions. Instead, it's generally more effective to focus on a few key facts and disregard the rest. For instance, when observing a couple to assess the longevity of their relationship, it's advisable to pay attention to specific critical signs. For example, if you detect a hint of contempt in their interactions, it could signify underlying problems. Attempting to scrutinize every detail can hinder accurate predictions, as irrelevant information obscures the crucial indicators. For instance, fixating on trivial aspects like the couple's body language or small talk may cause you to overlook significant cues such as contemptuous glances. In decision-making scenarios, our unconscious mind naturally distinguishes between important and unimportant information, enabling us to sift through perceptions and make informed judgments. Our ability to make swift, accurate judgments stems from our unconscious mind's adeptness at this filtering process. Similar to how relationship researchers identify specific signals, like signs of contempt, our spontaneous decisions are based on a select few pieces of pertinent information. Part 3. We often make snap judgments and provide explanations for them later. In our daily lives, we frequently rely on snap judgments. For instance, in matters of love, we can instantly sense attraction upon meeting someone. Football players utilize their goal instinct to automatically position themselves for scoring opportunities. Even investors sometimes heed their bodily cues such as back pain to determine when to sell stocks. These decisions are typically made unconsciously, yet many individuals prioritize facts and figures over feelings and intuitions. Consequently, they often provide logical explanations for their snap judgments retroactively. For instance, a goalkeeper may attribute his exceptional saves during a match to being in the right place at the right time, overlooking the role of unconscious reactions to shots on goal. Similarly, conscious explanations regarding our ideal romantic partner often diverge from our intuitive preferences. While we may extensively list desired traits, when we meet someone, we rely on intuition to determine our attraction, which may contradict our preconceived notions. Part 4. Our unconscious associations influence our decision-making. The unconscious exerts a specific influence on our actions. For instance, many of us unconsciously link attributes like white, male, and tall with qualities such as power and competence. Despite not explicitly endorsing these associations, they influence our perceptions. Research reveals that being tall and white correlates with professional success. Even a 1-inch increase in height correlates with higher salaries, and top management roles are predominantly held by tall, white males. The case of Warren Harding illustrates the consequences of associating external characteristics with specific skills. Harding's election as President of the United States was primarily due to his presidential appearance rather than his abilities. Lacking substantial merits, he is now regarded as one of the worst presidents in history. To listen to more interesting summaries, please subscribe to my channel. Part 5. Stress can drive us to make wrong judgments. Are you aware that you possess a form of telepathy? It may surprise you, but we all have the ability to decipher thoughts. By simply observing a person's facial expressions, we can discern their inner thoughts and emotions. Moreover, research has demonstrated that emotional expressions are universally understood across all cultures. Whether in joy, anger, or sadness, facial expressions convey consistent meanings that are recognized worldwide. However, during periods of stress, individuals may enter a state where peripheral cues, including facial expressions, are disregarded in favor of focusing solely on the most immediate threat. This phenomenon, known as tunnel vision, can lead to errors in judgment, such as law enforcement officers mistaking harmless objects for weapons. To mitigate the risk of succumbing to this autistic seizure, it's crucial to reduce stress levels and adopt a slower pace. 6. Market research can't always predict true consumer behavior. Market researchers are tasked with determining the viability of products in the market, but they often struggle to accurately predict consumer behavior. For instance, decades ago, Coca-Cola conducted taste tests that indicated Pepsi scored higher than Coke. Responding to this, Coca-Cola introduced New Coke, expecting it to be a success based on taste tests. However, New Coke turned out to be one of the biggest product failures in history, despite positive taste test results. This discrepancy can be attributed to the unrealistic conditions of the taste tests, where testers evaluated the products based on a single sip without the recognizable brand elements. These conditions didn't reflect real-world consumer behavior, as consumers' purchasing decisions are influenced by various factors beyond taste alone. To obtain a more accurate assessment, taste tests should have been conducted in a context resembling real consumption scenarios, such as at home while relaxing. Additionally, consumers often initially rate innovative products negatively in market tests. This is because consumers need time to acclimate to new and unfamiliar products before developing a preference for them. Part 7. Go out and experience new things. Do you think racial prejudices are still prevalent in society today? Psychologists have utilized simple association tests to reveal that racial biases are deeply ingrained in individuals. For instance, studies have indicated that many individuals in the United States exhibit greater difficulty associating positive attributes with the term black compared to white. Remarkably, this unconscious bias has been observed even within the black community. Experts attribute this phenomenon to the unconscious learning process through observation. Given that the dominant class in the US is predominantly white, individuals have subconsciously linked white skin with favorable qualities like power. What's concerning is that these prejudices can significantly influence our everyday actions. Factors such as skin color, gender, and height play a role in how individuals are perceived, particularly in contexts like job applications. To combat these biases, it's essential to actively seek ways to alter unconscious attitudes, and the most effective approach is through exposure to diverse experiences and interactions with different people. Part 8. Ignore irrelevant information to avoid bad snap judgments. We've already discussed the significant impact of unconscious biases and stereotypes on decision-making. To prevent these influences, it's crucial to consciously protect yourself from potentially misleading information. For instance, in the music industry, there was a long-standing belief that only men could excel as professional musicians such as violinists or bass players. Regardless of their talent, women were often overlooked due to stereotypes and prejudice. To address this issue, the industry implemented screens during auditions to conceal the gender of musicians, allowing them to be evaluated solely based on their performance. Thanks to this approach, there are now numerous exceptionally talented female musicians in orchestras worldwide. This example illustrates that challenging our unconscious judgments can sometimes be as straightforward as intentionally disregarding irrelevant information. Conclusion: while the human brain's capacity for rapid judgment can be advantageous in certain scenarios, it is essential to recognize its limitations. Quick assessments should be complemented by thoughtful consideration and conscious analysis to ensure accurate and fair decision-making. Striking a balance between snap judgments and deliberate reflection can lead to more informed and equitable evaluations of situations and individuals alike. Thank you for watching this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Your comments, likes and shares are highly appreciated. See you soon in our next episode.